This is TWiT.
Phil Libin has introduced... Phil's an old friend of the network. Loved him when he was the CEO at Evernote. He's been on TWiT many, many times. He just sank $4.5 million into a new app with the strange name of mmHmm.
How many M's? How many H's?
Two
it's
M's.
The worst name ever.
Two mmHmm. Yeah, but you know how to say that, don't you?
But that means that like I got $12. I'm gonna take every domain name that is one H too many, one M too few, in case this thing takes off, and then I'm gonna sell it back to the company for $20,000 a piece.
I'm gonna guess that the way Phil came up with this is, I don't know if you've watched any of the Saturday Night Lives from home. But they're not just people on Zoom calls. They've really dressed them up with some great production graphics. That's what will do. Libin said, it's important to have a name you can say while eating. Which is funny because Phil is a big guy on fasting, on intermittent fasting. It's a virtual camera.
Will it replace Quibi? Will it fill the Quibi-sized hole in my non-existent heart?
Oh boy, Quibi. There's a good article about Quibi. I'll talk about that in a second. It's important you can have a name while eating, says Libin. It's a virtual camera, which, as you know, sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work with Zoom and Skype and so forth. But I guess they're planning it for Zoom, Google Meet, or other YouTube even. You turn it on, and it transforms your room into a virtual stage, and offers a variety of still and animated virtual backgrounds to enliven your conversations. It also, you can manipulate slides, backgrounds, your own image. With a simple gesture on a trackpad, you can move your face around the screen, shrink or enlarge your image, disappear entirely. Let's see, here's the beta preview. This is Phil starring in a video created. There's Phil with I don't know, I think it's interesting. This shows you that there is a gold rush in Zoom stuff. It is for the Mac, by the way.
It's everybody has to deal with this. Everybody's not, and even after this whole thing goes away, the idea of video conferencing becoming part of the workplace is going to stick around. And so the idea of let's have ways to make this cool. Let's have ways to make me have fun doing this.
Tom Hanks should have had this because he adds a bookshelf with some books to that bare blank wall. He has over-the-shoulder graphics, PowerPoint presentations. He can disappear, become translucent, move around on the graphic. I want this, actually. I think we're going to do our shows with from now on. This looks pretty sweet. This is kind of like Ecamm. You see he's got an Ecamm style inset of his smartphone. Ecamm's done very well. I mean, Micah used it today for iOS Today. He uses it. I think this is really, you know what? This sounds silly, and no doubt the name is silly, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it might actually, this might be the time to make
I do hope that the software generates a random and fresh, unique collection of random crap on the bookshelves behind them every single time for every single user, or else, I see you also have the oak burl horsehead figure, as well as the generic book on, quote, U.S. history, unquote.
Libin says it's intended to be the go-to app for people who want to stream PowerPoint instead of Fortnite. Depressingly, there are very many of us.
Yeah.
He also likes the name because he says you can't just say it; you have to perform it, which is a really good point, isn't it?
Oh, well, no. Well, now you're risking looking like one of the crash test dummies, you know?
No.